Hi friends, Mimi here. Thanks for coming over. I'm really excited because Prudence is coming over. Yeah, Prudence, the one who once danced with the moon at a ball. Prudence is coming over to chat about the aesthetic. So as you can imagine, I am just all over the place trying to figure out what I'm gonna wear. And in the end, I decided to settle for straight hair and my white sweater with red patches instead of my red sweater with white patches. But I'm not sure about my glasses, so I think we'll just try to figure it out together maybe. Okay. All right, so this is option 1. I like it because of the eyebrows. There's a lot of like eye definition. No, it's not right. Okay. These ones are very festive, you know. Maybe not the right season though. Ugh. Okay, I have a good feeling about these ones. What do you think? Wow, I actually already feel like a different person. I think we're ready. I just have to brush my teeth.
Ding-a-ling.
That must be Prudence. Okay, how's my hair? Come in. Hey, Prue.
Hello, Mimi.
I love your skirt. You look so fancy.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna get out the coloring stuff. Okay, we've got lots of colors. Here you go.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I wear my extra fancy glasses for you.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
It's business cash, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, what? This old thing? You know? Alrighty. So, Prue.
Yes.
If I say the word statue to you, tell me like a memory that comes to mind from your childhood.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, so in my family, like we would give gifts in kind of the normative way, like on Christmas. Mm-hmm. However, one year when my mom's side of the family, who are kind of like all a little broken, we're all there. We decided to do like a Yankee swap instead, which for you and your friends is a mode of gift giving where one person opens one gift and then the next person can either choose to take that gift or open the next one.
My family calls it a white elephant.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of this as well. What I was so deeply drawn to during this Yankee swap was this like giraffe statuette. It was just like this kind of like cheap wooden carved giraffe, but I just remember having this like longing for it, something about the proportion and the color, and I remember it vividly. So it's just kind of.
How big was it?
It was about maybe like yay big or so, like perfect for like a kid's desk or whatever. So.
Oh my gosh. Do you still have it?
I don't, or maybe I don't know. My mom has like boxes and boxes of ephemera from in case I become famous. So,
totally. Yeah, for the like museum where they like recreate your childhood room.
Exactly.
This will be mine.
She already has plaques made, which I find a little uncomfortable.
Whoa,
but, yeah.
whoa. Okay, so you weren't even joking when you said like for when you become famous.
No, yeah, it's real, and she's predicted the year I'm going to die as well, which is really, it's like like Prudence gender and like this year to this.
Whoa, is she like a psychic?
I was also just joking, but she doesn't have plaques made.
Prue, you can't do that
I'm
with
so
me.
sorry.
Oh man. That's okay.
Well, hold on. Do I get to color too, or?
Yeah, you're sorry. I'm so sorry. Your paper.
Oh, my paper's in here.
Yeah.
I should have known. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Every time I lose something, I think what stresses me out the most is like knowing that it still exists somewhere. Like it's somewhere.
I know, right?
And then I'm like, I just hope it's not like wet in a puddle, like a dirty puddle.
Ever since I was a kid, I wish I had this like superpower where I could just see like a beam of light coming up from wherever like a lost object was and just follow it, kind of like the end of a rainbow or something.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, like the bat signal for
for lost toys.
Yeah.
I had this dinosaur statue also, or like little toy, like plastic dinosaur, but at the time it was the most expensive thing I'd ever owned. It was like $15, which in kid money is like, a lifetime
exorbitantly
savings.
expensive. Yeah.
But it was like this big T-Rex, and I just remember losing it at the beach one day and just being like,
No.
it's somewhere. Probably that trash island in the Pacific now, but
Yeah, the dryer.
Yeah.
Oh man. The Island of Misfit Toys in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer always kind of made me feel better.
yeah.
It's like, did you ever see that?
Yeah, that's like the dog heaven for lost toys.
Yeah.
Kinda.
It's like still a little sad because they're all a little broken, I guess. Like your mom's family.
Well, as long as they don't have a Yankee swap, they should be fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There you go. All right, Prue. So today we're chatting about the aesthetic. So I am curious to know, how did you play with the aesthetic as a kid?
Well, I think most of my play was social. I understand that a lot of kids when they're younger really like playing on their own, and that was never my inclination. A unfortunate habit I've carried into adulthood where I just like can't be in a room with myself for more than 10 minutes. But anyway, so when I'd be playing with my friends, a lot of times I lived in this cul-de-sac with like many houses kind of dotted around it, and like all the kids were within the same age, and we would often play with toys, but more often just pretend. Like we'd all pretend we were dogs, or we would all pretend we were whatever. We pretended we were dogs a lot. That's kind of why it's the only one I can think of.
I pretended I was a dog too.
Really?
And my grandma like hated it because she was like, "Why are you encouraging this behavior? It's weird."
I mean, it's definitely weird, but I would just contend that weird is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would.
Because I was doing it by myself. Like, I didn't have dog friends like you seem to have. I was like a lone wolf dog child.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Just a feral child.
I would, so anyway, when we were playing dogs, like, it was ostensibly, the main point of the game was when you get to, like, act like a dog, but we would just get so caught up in, like, the discussions of what kinds of dogs we were and, like, what we looked like, that I don't ever remember actually getting around to, like, doing dog stuff. It was mostly just, like, long, extended talks of being, like who like gets to be which breed, and like but like it quickly kind of like transcended the realm of the possible too. Be like at some point it would be like, yeah, I'm like a like tie-dye golden retriever, like I'm like a see-through poodle with like I don't know, it was really psychedelic and bizarre.
I love that.
So I guess as a kid I would do that a lot. And
can I ask you something about when you were a kid?
yes.
You told me once that you thought that you looked like Elvis.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
Okay, yeah. It was before I ever saw a mirror.
Yeah.
This is a very early memory.
Yeah.
And it's something I had forgotten until we were talking that day. But I just thought I had like Elvis hair, and I don't know how I got that idea into my head, or like where I even saw a picture of Elvis or whatever, but I was sure I had like although like Elvis, because Elvis had like a big, it was like kind of went out and then came back up, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even sure, but I feel like I just have an idea of what Elvis looks like, but it's not him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I probably at 3 years old I had a similar kind of thing. We'll have your fact checkers.
Yeah,
find out
exactly.
what Elvis's hair actually looked like.
We have
but
many on the team. Many fact
like
checkers.
literally thousands. I think it was the version of Elvis like when he was like older and like had the like rhinestone onesie, and not like young like kind of more like rugged bootstrap Elvis, like more like the glam rock Elvis. So
Yeah.
anyway, like big hair. So I just thought I had this hair, and I remember seeing myself in a mirror and being like distraught, and like also like not buying that was me. And like I went to my mom, and I was like, what's up with this mirror? I think. And I think she just had to have a conversation with me where like, that's what I actually look like, and my hair does not in fact look like Elvis's hair. But I had this self-image where it was like little boy me with like Elvis hair.
Yeah, that's so fascinating to me because I feel like I only have a self-image when I'm reflected. Like I don't have a mirror in my bedroom because I kind of like the feeling of not having a self-image.
Oh my god, we are so different.
I know.
Like
this
I have
is
like
what I was
5
telling
mirrors
you.
in my bedroom.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like if I do have the absence of like other people and also like mirrors, I just like have no self-conception of like what I look like. So it's really fascinating to me that like that was such an early thing where you were like, you had this conviction that like this is what you looked like.
Yeah. And I always had self-image is something I don't know if it's just because of my upbringing or what, but I've always felt like deeply aware that I had that. And like I remember another thing my mom loves to bring up and thinks is hilarious is that I when I was in I think like 4th grade, I like came home one day like really upset and saying that because I was saying that like when we would have hot lunch at school, we had these trays that I thought were really cool. They were like, you know how like some like tortoiseshell plastic stuff has a kind of like funfetti look where it's like all these different colors of plastic and and then they just like cut it into a tray or whatever. Anyway, the school trays were like this. They weren't just beige. They were like really, it was like funfetti. But they were all different colors. But I came home and told my mom I was sad because I felt like my face didn't match the trays. And like all the other kids' faces looked so normal with their trays, and my like face didn't match the tray, which is just like what?
And it's so funny because like I have like the opposite fixation, or have always had the opposite fixation with trays, where like I don't like trays. I find them really embarrassing. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It's just like the sound they make. They take up so much space.
Yes,
like,
that is true.
When you sit down at the table, it's like the whole... So for the longest time, I would just like not use them, but like definitely to my own detriment, where it's like I'm like trying to balance all these bowls. And everyone's like, why don't you just use a tray?
It's like, I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's definitely like a shame thing, but just being like... I don't know, because it's like... It's like stating like through its presence like I'm eating and I eat or something. I don't know. I feel like just like taking up space as an AFAB person is like something that is like it's there's like shame attached to it maybe. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Did you ever have you resolved this, or to this day are you
I still don't like them, but I use them.
Okay.
Like reluctantly. Because I also feel bad because I feel like as an object, they're kind of like a sad object. And I'm like, I don't want to not like you. Because then they look lonely. Even though they're stacked, it's like they're all spooning. They never like see each other's faces maybe. I don't know what it is. There's something like very melancholy about a tray stack.
Yeah, I think the main tragedy of my youth is that the only tray I got exposure to was like this kind stacked, sad. Whereas like in like I don't know, you always see like those Victorian trays are silver and gilded. And, like,
for like
as hell.
dainty tea parties.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't have those. Oh man, but that's so. Well, you're very sparkly, and you match the. I feel like you match the like Victorian trays.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there was just a lack of diversity in the tray selection.
Yeah,
that's the real problem. So.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't you. It was the trays. Oh my gosh. Okay, so silly question.
Yes.
If you were to live in an object, what object would you live in? And you can like be any size, like you can live in a shoe or like whatever.
I don't want to live in a shoe.
Okay, it would be like a new shoe if it were. But I don't want to answer for you.
New shoe. I feel like I'm being pushed to say new shoe. And it could be anything,
Just
like a new shoe or...
It could even be an old shoe.
Yeah, really diversity of choices. I don't know. That's an interesting question to think over. I think if I had to live in like in some kind of surreal way inside of an object, I think like some kind of like cheap plastic gem, like you know those like little like plastic rubies or whatever.
Totally.
Like I would pick one of those.
What color?
Probably clear.
Clear.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I feel like at a certain time of day, it would just be like all rainbow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love that. Cool.
Plus, like, it works with my exhibitionist side as well. Like, it's kind of like woman in a glass house style, but just like in this like clear
Totally.
gem, so.
You're like a total damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Like in this little gem.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm picturing you like on someone's finger.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Don't tempt me.
I love that. Okay, so how would you say like now you're playing with the aesthetic?
I would say like in terms of dress,
Mm-hmm.
and just like my own visual aesthetic, I really like playing. I think play for me requires like speed and cheapness, you know? Like I can't play with the aesthetic of my house so much because like getting a piece of furniture or whatever is like it's just arduous.
An investment.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like the opposite of a plaything, an investment. Yeah.
I mean, I would love to like be able to just be like wake up one day and be like, I want my house to look like pink and have like white wall-to-wall carpeting and like that's just gonna be the vibe today. And but like you can't just manifest that. So with clothing and stuff, I think it's easier to like have that day-to-day just like kind of ritual of like, what am I gonna wear today? Like what weird combination. I would also say just like as part of my general like gender expression, that like that to me is a source of play as well, and I find that empowering as opposed to feeling like I have to look one way or another, or I like need to. I feel like when I first started like leaving, like walking away from masculinity,
Lost my bear.
Tragic. I would like kind of feel like I had like had to like then embrace femininity, but
yeah, because you're like, this is the thing now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like this is who. Yeah, for sure. But more lately, I've kind of wake up and some days feel more like I guess butch, or like I feel like I'm really just like putting out top energy and want to like lean into that. And then other days I feel more dainty or more whatever. So it feels like to play feels like it requires being really in tune with like what I'm feeling and like being really embodied. And both of those things are like requisite for like I can put on an outfit I know will look good, but like what feels really rewarding and playful to me is to like take what I have and arrange it in like a new way, in a creative way.
Do you know what the sunk cost fallacy is?
Where if you've already spent enough time doing something, you might as well, because you've already put so much time into it. Like, you might as well finish it.
It's actually like the opposite, where it's like, no, it's okay though.
No, nice flex. That's fine.
We're all learning.
Actually, you're wrong.
So basically, it's just that like, if you like spend a lot of money on a concert ticket and then you like don't want to go at all the day that it's actually happening, then this is turning into like an economics show.
Well, the fallacy would be that if you went anyway because you'd already bought the ticket, right?
If you felt like you needed to go because you had bought, because you had spent money, but really the money is a sunk cost, and like you're either paying to stay home or to go to the thing. So recently on Twitter I saw someone say something about like what they said was like the sunk cost fallacy but for gender. So basically like, which I really liked, because it's kind of like what you're saying about how like you can feel like weirdly with like gender expression, you can like suddenly feel stuck and like you're like, oh, but I guess this is what I've been doing, so now I have to do this. Especially if the thing that you have been doing has deviated from, I feel like once you veered off, then you're like, okay, but I guess I have to stick to this, you know?
Yeah.
Or I feel that way anyway.
No, that really rings true with the way I was feeling probably for the first like 4 months of transitioning, I guess. But lately I've been feeling very empowered to like exist in like multiplicity and that is like liberating and free, and like why like leave the gender binary to then just like fall right back into it, or fall back into like any kind of taxonomy or like rigid idea of how things ought to be, you know? So I think like just like, like a moment to moment, day to day practice of like feeling out how I want to present is kind of what feels best to me, and it feels playful. Like it feels, you know, it's deeply linked to that sense of like playing is a very freeing thing. I do that in my writing too, and like but it isn't something I do with other people often, which is kind of what's so charming about this whole play date is like the opportunity to like actually like play. It's just so intimate. I don't know.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm curious because if the aesthetic doesn't feel like a place where like you are playing the most, where are you playing the most right now? I guess
there has to be like a social context that makes everyone feel like it's not weird. So where I find that is like I've been playing a lot more like improvisational music. I guess the like in like layman's terms jamming with people a lot.
So people don't say that? Like if you actually jam?
No, people absolutely only say that, but I just feel like it's so couched in this like kind of like white guy kind of, you know, like, yeah, we were jamming the other night, but like, so I feel like so much, like I have to like put so much distance between myself and that terminology. But that is what it is. Confusingly, people say that when they actually mean band practice. So someone was having me over to jam with them and their these two friends of mine, and I had to like, and like eventually they thought I was like part of the project, and I had to like kind of like band break up with them.
Whoa!
Because I was like, I just thought we were jamming. Like this is so serious.
That's like modern dating.
It is exactly like dating. Yeah, it is 100%. Band dynamics are dating. And just polyamory has really prepared me for it too.
Totally. There you go.
Yeah. So like I think like playing music with people feels like an environment where I can play and make mistakes, and or like the idea of something being a mistake or good or bad like kind of goes out the window.
Totally.
I would say kind of sex feels like a domain where you can play too.
Totally. Yeah.
Although I do get like great anxiety doing anything that's like role playing that requires like character. Someone sprang that on me recently, and it felt like one of those dreams where you're in a play but you don't know any of your lines.
I had like all of last week, every single dream was that.
Okay.
And I was like finding ways to like plant the script in the like set so that I could like read off of it. Oh, so stressful.
I mean, what was the play about? Do you remember?
They're never, I never know what they're, because that's the thing, I don't know what they're about.
True.
I feel like my dreams are like actually making fun of me, because they're like, this is obviously not really a play, like we're just wearing hats, but like because I'm in my dream, I'm like, this is very believable, like these are this is a play, they're wearing hats.
Yeah,
and
totally.
They're like,
classic anxiety, just reading threat everywhere, like, oh, they have hats, it must be a play.
It must be a play.
I can't question this.
It's really just a hat convention.
Yeah. But so yeah, I guess to circle way back, I think music is a domain where I play, sex is a domain where I play. I think like in like conversation can feel very playful, like especially like, I don't like love like riffing the way that, you know what I mean, like people, it's like feels like competitive or something, but like I love like I love making jokes. That's probably the most playful thing I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you about that. What value you do find though in like satire and humor and.
I would say that like I find value in humor, and I'm gonna go into that in a second. But all the value is reverse engineered from the standpoint of like it being compulsory. I don't know another way to be. I wasn't like, humor is valuable, so I'm going to like employ it in my, you know,
right.
As much as that.
Not everything is like, yeah, I understand.
Well, I mean, I would love to have that kind of agency over, but I feel very out of control over who I am, and especially in terms of joke making, like it's below any
Right.
It's more primal than any like vector of control over my behavior that I have. Like I cannot, it's fundamental to my being, I guess.
Yeah.
I find that this is oftentimes doesn't help me out, but it is valuable in the sense that I think humor is like a really expedient way to convey information, and to make a joke is such an easy way to just like glide through that
Diffuse
moment.
that, yeah.
Yeah, diffuses. So it's a bit of like I think it's born honestly like a coping mechanism. Like I grew up in a household with like a lot of, it was just chaotic, and there's like a lot of like tension, and the ability to like make jokes to like just get out of there was like probably fueled a lot of that. Like it's a very teasy household, you know, like you kind of have to be able to laugh at yourself in order to like survive emotionally, otherwise it'd just be so hard.
Yeah.
So I think humor, but I also think you can kind of like, I feel like in my writing I can make points about stuff by making a joke so much quicker and like in a way that feels like freer, like more welcoming than like I could in like an academic way of like logically positing an idea and whatever.
Totally. Yeah, because it conveys some kind of truth, right? Like.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And like truth telling is kind of like what I do, you know. So like anything that gets me there.
See, that's my problem is that I just get too serious too fast. Okay, Prue. Two-part last question.
Yes.
First is, what color are you drawn to right now? Second is, how would you like to play? What's your ideal like playtime? Those are the two.
Well, the first question, red. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm like deathly drawn to red. This crayon is.
That's a good one.
We're really having a moment.
Yeah, you started out all like blue, and you were like red.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I've made a terrible mistake. But yeah, I think red is a color I feel really connected with. I have a very like whitewashed home. But I'm doing as much work as I can to like put red objects in it. I find it erotic. I find it powerful. It's like very attention grabbing. It feels subversive almost. Like when I'm wearing like, I have this like large red wool coat. It's like, it's beautiful. That like when I wear that on the metro, like everyone else is in gray and black, I feel like I'm like doing something important. It's praxis, okay? So
how is that the first time that word has been used this whole episode?
We almost made it through the whole play date without mentioning. So, and then in terms of my ideal play date, do you mean like as an adult or like?
Yeah, like
utopic or like what I could actually manifest in my actual life?
Let's start utopic and then let's see if we can manifest.
Yeah. Well, okay, if I could just like snap my fingers and have society be the way I want it, doing creative things with friends in a relaxed setting would be beautiful. I mean, I like yearn for that, but I just feel so like I've been in with friends where we do like writing groups where we like write for an hour and then share what we've written, and like the pressure to make something good I find overwhelming, or it pushes me to make something good, which is like great, but it's not really what you know what I mean? That's not really play. That's some other weird.
It's productivity or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So kind of, like it feels, I feel like to be able to do something creatively that I didn't feel like would then like affect or reflect on me as a person, which is like so vain, but like, yeah, like in any one of those settings where I like do something, I'm like, okay, well, like this thing I write better be good because people are watching, you know? So ideally like something like this, like to just draw, and also your drawings are, I don't know if you want to show your friends, but your drawings are so nice.
Thank you.
I
Yours
feel
is
like
gorgeous also. I'm loving
it. I haven't drawn with crayons since I was a child, and it shows.
I mean, but that's the thing that I love about crayons is like it always looks like a child drew it.
Yeah.
Because it's just, there's so little like dexterity to like a crayon point. It's like so blunt.
Yeah, and I wanted to lean into that. Like I can move beyond like two stick figures holding hands.
I mean, I don't know why you're being so defensive right now.
Because it, look, this affects what people think of me, okay?
Just like, I'm breaking like the 18th wall here, but alter egos. That's one way to circumvent that.
Yeah. That's true. And I have to say, like, I have felt so much freer in all my creative practices since transitioning. And I think it's a little bit like that. It's like, this is an identity I have total control over.
Yeah.
As opposed to the one that was like gifted to me by society and my like biological family.
Oh, that's so gonna make me cry. That's so beautiful.
Don't, you're gonna ruin the triangles. Or do, I don't know. I'll hold space for that.
You're not allowed to cry on play dates.
I don't know. I remember a lot of crying on play dates.
It's so
deeply
true.
Emotional.
That's actually how every play date should end, like on this show, is someone has to cry.
Yeah,
like you just keep going until someone cries. Because that's how they used to end, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be like
called
well, I had
Johnny's
brothers,
mom.
so yeah, so it'd be like, you know, someone wrestles someone is hurt. Someone bit someone.
Yes. Someone always bit someone.
Okay, wait. So tell me about your drawing before you go. You can just tell me about the sunset too, if you feel like it.
Well, my drawing is of two people on a boat, and I think that when I saw we were drawing with crayons, I kind of felt like, yeah, like leaning into like what. Like I'm not gonna pretend that this was like a conscious like funny thing. I don't. There's only a few things I like ever knew how to draw as a kid. I was friends with a lot of people who really liked illustrating, but I never really like. Visual art has never been my forte, and like, I remember like learning how to like do that Superman S or whatever that like
you were
everyone
such a
remember.
Superman S kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
But I feel like waves in the ocean was like very much like one of those things too of like. Like I just like knew I had like 3 moves when it came to drawing. So, so I was making waves, and then I was like, okay, well maybe I'll do a boat, and I made this kind of like flesh toned boat. Decided I want some figures in it, and then there's a sun in the corner, but also a sunset.
It's maybe like a two-sunned world. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a generous interpretation of what's going on. It's a two-sunned world. So these people are, they're sailing in this kind of cosmically other planet with 2 suns.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
And they're seagulls.
Can it be us? Can we be on the boat?
Yes, of course.
Cool.
I mean, I encourage you to map whatever meaning you want onto this. It'll be perfect for my thesis on like childhood meaning and drawings and etc. So
Yeah. And it wouldn't be a play date if I didn't give you like a grade on your
Exactly. Or a punishment. So what is it? How did I do?
No, I'm just kidding. It's perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for playing with me.
Yeah,
thanks for coming over.
Of course. Yeah, it's perfect timing because I have to leave and go have a difficult breakup with the moon. So it happens.
I knew she was not good enough for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I think it's I'm just trying to listen to my body.
Yeah.
And I'm just not feeling like a yes.
I hear you. The
yeah.
pull isn't there. All right. Well, I guess I'll clean.
No, the parents clean, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The parents clean.
Yeah. I like don't know how to put a thing away. I'm a kid. Okay. Bye.
Bye, Prue. You can take the crayon.
I can.
Yeah. Bye, friends. Thanks for coming over. Ding! 2 words I like a lot are like, L-I-K-E, and white, W-H-I-T-E, in American Sign Language. Like is thumb to your middle finger, together pulling out from your chest. And white is all of your fingers pulling out from your chest. And I like them because they remind me of pulling a tissue paper out of a tissue box. Ding!